This is the plaintiff, Rebecca Jablonski. She says she was forced to move out of the defendant's property because, quite frankly, it became unlivable. The place was being used as a car junkyard. There were fistfights, swearing in the middle of the night. You name it, it happened. The defendants are in complete defiance of the law, won't return her security, and she's suing for the $4,925.80 she's owed. These are the defendants, Beverly and Mark Bluen. Beverly says the plaintiff is not all there, if you know what she means. She left the place a huge and disgusting mess. She's a downright ingrate and can't believe she's actually in court today. In fact, her son's suffering from terrible back pain, having moved all the plaintiff's things, getting the apartment ready for new tenants. She's accused of bad landlording.
Rebecca Jablonski,
Yes.
You are suing your former landlords, Beverly and Mark, pronounce the name for me?
Bluen.
Bluen, for $4,925.80 in your security deposit that you say was unlawfully withheld times 3, and you're going to explain to me how you do that. Okay? Talk to me. Tell me what's going on.
Well, we rented the house on January 1st, 2009,
Uh-huh.
and I gave Beverly a security deposit of $1,860.
Okay.
Okay. I had a Section 8 subsidy, and this is a copy.
And Section 8 means that the federal government is helping to pay your rent.
Right.
How much
that's
does
correct.
Section 8 pay?
When I first moved in there, I believe $772. It's contingent upon my income.
Uh-huh.
So depending on how much my income was, it would change occasionally.
Okay. All right. And then what happens? Why did you move?
Well, I moved because it was just intolerable living there. But
How?
loud music. Her son had her other son, not the son that's here.
Okay, hold on. Describe to me what this. I thought you were renting a house and it was a freestanding
Yes.
house.
It was, but it was behind Beverly's house, and
Okay, so it's like a guest house or something on the.
There's two houses on
There's
the property.
Two houses on one property.
Yes.
Okay, so there's a main house where they live, and there's a house in the back.
In
That's
back.
where you folks were
Right,
renting
across the
from.
parking lot.
And there was too much loud music coming from who?
there was a barn about 25 feet away from our front door, and her son had a business fixing cars in that barn, and he had customers coming in and out. There were car repairs day after day after day, sometimes into the middle of the night. Sometimes he would repair cars right outside my bedroom window till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and he would have customers and people going back and forth in the yard. He was out there cutting up junk cars the first summer that we were there, and right then I knew that we were going to move out as soon as that one-year lease was up.
But you didn't.
Yeah.
So how many at the end of the first year lease, did you end up moving out?
11 months.
Okay, almost a year.
Yeah.
All right, now, according to you did not sign a new lease for those 11 months. You were on month to month because the first lease had expired. According to you, you have a signed lease. May I see your signed lease?
This is a signed lease. It requires 2 months to notice in writing to vacate the property.
Why is there no date on the signatures?
I'm sorry, there isn't. It's dated
Yeah,
on
there
the
should be. You
front.
need to change that
Yes, I do.
because watch what she's going to say. Did you sign this in 2010? Let me hand it over to her, please, Doug.
Absolutely not.
What do you think happened here?
I think that she wrote up another whole lease that I've never seen before, and she took the last page of the original lease, copied it, and said that I signed it.
Right. Which nobody could ever say that if there's dated signatures, but when signatures aren't dated, then let me see the 2009. Let me see if it looks different.
This
Let me
second
see
lease.
the 2009 lease. That is what I am asking, not anything else. Let me see the 2009 lease, please.
2009, town and, okay.
Your signature is different on the two of them, so you know.
I'd have to see that because I
I'm
have
going to
copies
show them
of
to you.
both.
But your signature is different on 2009 versus 2010. That's what I was looking for, to see if they were exactly the
Okay,
same.
'cause on
so
mine,
there's
the
this
one she
there.
sent me, it's
Either
the same.
way, I'm not going to get too hung up on that because even if you have a lease and even if you are required to give a certain kind of notice, if you can prove to me that it was unlivable, that the situation was unlivable, then you don't have to give any notice. You're entitled to get out. Do you see that? Are those both your signatures?
They do look different to me.
They
Yeah.
look different to you, but they're both yours?
Yes.
You're right, right. All right. Now, when you move out, do you say to her, I'm moving out because I can't take the noise from the business that's being run on this premises?
it was irrelevant as far as I was concerned. I'm entitled
Because
to
you
move out
figured
after
that you
the
had
first
the
year.
notice.
Right.
That you figured you had complied with the notice. Had
Yes.
you read that lease that you apparently signed that said that you have to give 60 days notice?
Yes, but can I also submit the information that I have? According to the paperwork that she signed with HAP, it says here that she must provide a standard lease. And a standard lease doesn't have anything about a 60-day
Standard
notice.
lease doesn't give you a right to get out of it at all until your time is up.
But my time was up. It
When
had-
was it? No, according to this lease, her time would be up when?
The end of December?
No, the end of November.
Oh, the end of November?
No, the end of December.
Hold on, we'll be right here. Don't yell at us. Hold on.
Can I ring it?
No, she's right, December 31st, and you were leaving December 1st. So if this lease, which you say, yeah, they're both my signature, then it means that you would have to move out on December 31st. This lease wasn't over, if I find this to be a valid lease.
That's a forged lease. I did not
Well, you
sign
said that, but
lease.
then when I showed you the two signatures on it, you said, yeah, I signed that. There wouldn't be two signatures of yours riding around here. The notice you have to give is the one you signed on to give. And if I find that second lease to be valid, then the notice that you're supposed to give is 60 days.
So if the landlord's making too much noise, can the tenant move out, get her money back?
No,
Why?
because you signed a lease.
Yeah, but at a point, if the landlord makes it unbearable, can the tenant move out and get security back?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, but it has to be really noisy,
Yeah,
right?
really noisy.
Like really, really noisy, right?
Yeah.
Like really, really noisy.
Conditions have to be unlivable.
Like really, really noisy.
You also said that there was loud music. Where was the loud music coming from?
Well, it wasn't just the loud music. At one point, I was fed up with the loud music, and I was outside on the porch asking Mark again to turn down his music. He would sit in his car and blast the music. And I asked him again to turn down the music. Of course, he refused. And I took my foot and kind of slapped it against the porch. And he came running over telling me that he was going to, I shouldn't repeat it in court, you probably don't want to hear the verbiage that he used, but basically he was going to beat the crap out of me. And I had to go in and call the police. And
Really?
he physically threatened me. He had customers that would come to, drop off cars to be fixed. And at times when the customers, I guess, weren't allowed in the house, they were told to go in the backyard, in my yard, and go into the woods behind the yard and go pee back there.
Okay, how big is this property?
Small. The area where
Send
I
somebody
live.
to urinate behind her house?
Me?
Yeah.
Absolutely
Or anybody
not.
else? Did your brother?
I
kn-
didn't.
I never know
Absolutely
any,
not.
I don't know anything about that. I mean,
They stored junk cars in that
there was
yard.
Okay.
there was a car at
But
the
you know,
back of the
usually
yard.
when a place suddenly becomes uninhabitable, somebody tells me about how all of a sudden there's a horrible smell, or all of a sudden there's, the landlord's not paying the electricity, so now I have no electricity, I have no running water, I have, they won't exterminate, so there's, bed bugs everywhere, there's bugs, so I can't live there. You're describing the place you rented being a place you didn't feel like living in anymore, and the business you're talking about that's going on there, this little either side job or main job that the brother has, is something you knew about for the 2 years that you lived there. So how would that make it uninhabitable?
I didn't know that he was repairing cars there when I moved in.
When did you find out?
That first summer, well,
Okay,
actually the
that's
first
the year.
spring.
Apparently, it's livable because you lived there for another year.
I
Let me
had
ask you a
stayed
question. How do
there.
you come up with the figure in your lawsuit, $4,925?
I'm asking for treble damages because
Where do
as
you
far-
get that? Because the law doesn't provide for treble damages. It provides for double what's unlawfully withheld. So I'm going to look at.
If the escrow account hasn't been, if the security deposit has not been placed in an escrow account, then I'm eligible for treble
And
damages.
according to you, it was, and here's the escrow account. But I want to know where you found that, because I want to see what it is I couldn't find that you said.
There's more
Oh,
than
I didn't make a copy of it, but
Yeah, what I'm looking at is double, not triple. So if
It
you're
does-
saying it's triple, I'd
yeah.
like to see where you get that.
I don't have it with me, but
All right, so now, having said that, I want to know what letter you sent her to say, I'm keeping this much, this is why I'm keeping it. That's what I want to see. According to you, she left the place a mess. Okay. Talk to me. Tell me how she left a mess.
All kinds of stuff in the basement, cabinets, junk, TVs, tables. There was some furniture on the back porch. If you look, you see the drawers, cabinets. Some of it's normal. I mean, the painting, that's normal. Every time somebody moves out, you got to paint. Sometimes you got to shampoo or replace carpets. That's understandable. But it was the tires, the junk, the oil, the oil pans.
Would you like to respond to that and tell me why, according to them, you left all this stuff behind? Why? And that you left the place dirty. What's your response?
I did not leave the place dirty, but I did leave some items behind because we ran out of time with the truck and I just couldn't get them.
All right, let's look at the letter that was sent to her. In the letter that you sent her on December 27th, you say it's supposed to be clean, you did not leave it clean, and there will be a $50 an hour charge for cleaning. All right, charge for 9 new louvers at $9 each, $90. And that would be $81, not $90, okay. And that would be for what? Because you replaced all of the blinds in the place?
They were all, nobody could use
The
them.
cats would climb up them. Her cats would climb
Did you have
up.
cats there?
Yes.
Are you allowed to have pets?
No, but I put an addendum on the lease that all damages from the cats would be taken care of out of the security deposit.
Okay, so the deposit is $1,860. You feel that you have a right to keep some money because of a variety of different things. Number one, you feel that you have the right to keep the rent for the month of December from that security deposit because she didn't give adequate notice. According to you, the lease says she has to give 60 days. If I find that you signed that second lease, then you have to give 60 days. I find you signed that second lease and you have to give 60 days, and you didn't give that. So the 1,000 is correct. You also complained that she left the place very filthy and that you had to end up making trips to the dump to remove all of the stuff, and you took out $150 for that, $50 for cleaning an oven, $90 for new louvers, $45 for cleaning windows and sills. I'm not going to allow you to deduct all that money. I think a total of $200 is fine. We're talking about peanuts there anyway. All right, so that's $1,200, okay? What you ended up deciding, the damage that you ended up deciding was $1,340. I decide that it's $1,200. If she has an $1,860 security deposit, and I allow you to keep $1,200, that means there was $660 that should have gone to her. Instead, what went to her was $560. You cash that check, right?
Yes.
Okay. Instead, what went to her was $560. So that means you would owe her another $100 plus the interest that you didn't pay. You paid the interest in the amount of $40. It's closer to $60. It's a little shy of that. So there's another $20 in interest that you should be paying. All right. On your claim for treble security damages, I do not find in your favor, first of all, because the law doesn't provide for treble, it provides for double. And I don't find in your favor for double because most of the security deposit is something that I think that they were lawfully withholding from you. Okay? Go ahead.
May I
just
speak?
read this letter from the town where it said she would be responsible for the rent when she gave notice that she no longer needed assistance at the town.
And what I'm not understanding is if her rent was subsidized by Section 8, that $1,000 rent payment, Section 8 didn't pay it?
No, because she gave notice that she no longer needed assistance.
Because I only need to
Right,
give
because
a
you thought that
30-day
you'd be able to
notice.
move out on December 1st, I know.
And if I needed to give a 60-day, according to housing allowance, they would have
Okay. We're
supplied
not
the
going to
money
debate
for
the thing over and over
December.
again. You lose, okay? I find that you had to give 60-day notice. The lease has to be a standard lease, you say. Somehow you think that a standard lease allows you to give any notice. A standard lease doesn't let you get out. You got to stay until the end of the lease. So this was actually better for you than a standard lease. Better for you because it actually gave you an out if you wanted one, and you didn't abide by it in the terms that you had to. Now we're done. So my verdict is in favor of the plaintiff, but in the amount of $120. That's it.
There is a warranty of habitability, which is implied in all leases in almost every state. That means that a landlord has a legal obligation to make sure that the apartment or house that he is renting to the tenant is safe and has enough security that the tenant is in decent surroundings.